Everyone laughed when the system gave me the copy ability, one copy, per day, non-living objects only. The girl next to me got telekinesis, the guy behind me got a healing factor, someone 3 rows back got the ability to summon lightning, and me, I got a Xerox machine in my brain. My name is Chen Wei. And on the day the system dropped into reality and turned the world into a survival game, I became the biggest joke in a room of 300 people. The system called it duplication. One perfect copy of any non-living object within arm's reach. No size limit stated, no weight limit stated. One use, every 24 hours. Reset at midnight. Wang Fei, the guy who'd bullied me since secondary school, now glowing with a B-rank combat ability called Shatter Fist, walked up and slapped me on the shoulders so hard I stumbled. "Chen Wei, bro, one copy a day." He was already laughing before he finished the sentence. "What are you going to do, photocopy your homework?" The crowd around us erupted. Even people I'd never spoken to were laughing. A girl whose name I didn't know whispered to her friend, loud enough for me to hear, "He's dead within a week." I didn't argue. I didn't say anything. I just looked down at my hands and thought about what the ability actually said. One perfect copy. That night, while everyone else was forming alliances and trading combat tips and arguing over territory, I sat alone in the corner of the abandoned warehouse we'd been assigned as a starting zone. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the only thing of value I owned, my grandfather's gold ring, 22 carat, solid. He'd pressed it into my hand the morning of the system drop like he'd known something was coming. I placed it on the floor in front of me, stared at it for a long time, then I activated duplication. The air shimmered once, quietly, the way heat rises off asphalt in summer. And sitting next to the original ring was an identical one. Same weight, same color, same faint scratch along the inner band where my grandfather had caught it on a nail 20 years ago. I picked up both rings, held one in each hand. Nobody was watching. Nobody cared about Chen Wei in the corner. I set the copy down and duplicated it. 2 rings became 3. I waited until midnight, reset, duplicated again. 4. I didn't sleep that night. By dawn I had 8 rings, all identical, all real gold, all worth exactly what the original was worth, because they were the original, just copied. I found a survivor 2 blocks from the warehouse, a former pawnshop owner named Old Shen who was too old to fight and smart enough to know it. I laid the rings out in front of him without a word. He tested them with an acid kit he'd salvaged from his old shop. His hands went still. "These are all genuine." "I know." He looked up at me slowly. "How many can you get?" I thought about that for exactly 1 second. "As many as you need." The next 7 days changed everything. Old Shen had connections, the kind that survive the apocalypse because money never fully dies. He moved the gold quietly, small amounts, different buyers, no patterns. Within a week, I had more survival credits than anyone in our starting zone. Meanwhile, Wang Fei and the combat ability crowd were burning through resources fighting over territory they couldn't hold. 3 of the top-ranked fighters in our group were already dead. 2 more were injured. Everyone who had laughed at me on day 1 was now rationing food and sleeping in shifts to guard their supplies. I bought a private room in the most fortified building in the zone. I bought food for a month. I bought medicine, clean water, and a communications device. Then I sat down and thought about the next step. Because here's what nobody understood about duplication. They were all thinking about it wrong. They thought 1 copy per day meant 1 copy of something small. 1 knife, 1 medkit, 1 piece of bread. Useless in a world where combat decided everything. They weren't thinking big enough. On day 12, I found it. A fully sealed crate in the basement of an abandoned logistics company, still locked. I broke it open with a crowbar. Inside was a military-grade portable generator, still in factory packaging, untouched. I stared at it for a long time. Then I duplicated it. 2 generators. I sold 1. Duplicated the copy the next day. Sold that one too. Within 2 weeks, I had cornered the only reliable power supply in a 40-block radius. Every faction that wanted electricity came to me. Every medical station that needed to run equipment came to me. Every communications hub that needed to stay online came to me. The credits came in faster than I could count. Wang Fei found me on day 19. He didn't come alone. He brought 4 of his people, all armed, all carrying that particular look that men get when they've decided they're going to take something from someone weaker. Chen Wei, he said my name like it tasted bad. Word is you've been running some kind of supply operation. I was eating when he walked in. I didn't stop. Word gets around, I said. Hand it over, all of it. Credits, generators, gold, whatever you've been stacking. He crossed his arms. Your ability is useless in a fight. You know that. So don't make this complicated. I set down my chopsticks. You're right, I said. I can't fight you. He smiled. His people relaxed slightly. I duplicated your medical certificate this morning, I continued. The one that says you have a stage 2 heart condition. I gave copies to every faction leader in this zone. I also duplicated the record of every credit you stole from the 3 people your group killed last week. The originals are with old Shen. If anything happens to me, they go public. The smile disappeared. You can take my credits, I said. And tomorrow, every faction in this zone will know exactly what you are. Or you can walk out that door and we never have this conversation again. Nobody moved for a very long time. Then Wang Fei turned and left. His people followed without a word. I picked up my chopsticks and finished eating. By day 30, I wasn't hiding anymore. I had an office, a real one, on the 4th floor of a building I now owned outright. Old Shen ran the front desk. 2 former soldiers who owed me a debt managed security. I had accounts with 6 different faction leaders, a waiting list for generator access, and a standing order for any high-value sealed crate found within 20 kilometers. Because that was the other thing nobody had figured out yet. Duplication didn't care what was inside the object. It copied the container perfectly, sealed, locked, untouched. Which meant that if something was valuable when it was manufactured, it was still valuable when I copied it. Pharmaceuticals, military rations, circuit components, anything still in original packaging. The system had given me a photocopier. I had turned it into a mint. On the morning of day 31, a faction leader named Commander Zhao sat across from me. She had 300 fighters, 2 vehicles, and a standing problem. Her medical supplies were running out and there was no way to resupply. She'd come to me because she had no other option. She slid a data pad across the table. Name your price. I looked at the list. Antibiotics, antivirals, surgical kits, saline, all sealed, all things I could copy. I leaned back in my chair. Not credits, I said. She frowned. Then what? Information. Every map, every scavenged blueprint, every system dungeon record your scouts have collected for the past month. I want all of it. She stared at me. That's our strategic intelligence. That's worth more than... I know what it's worth, I said. That's why I want it. She was quiet for a long time. Then she pushed the datapad further toward me. Deal. I nodded. Reached under the desk, set a sealed medical crate on the table between us. First delivery, more in 72 hours? She picked up the crate carefully, like it might disappear. It wouldn't. Everything I made was real. That was the thing about duplication that nobody ever understood, right up until the moment they were sitting across from me needing something only I could provide. It wasn't useless. It was the only ability that got better every single day. Not because the power grew, but because the world kept producing things worth copying, and I had all the time in the world.